Collecting souls for the afterlife was a simple task. You arrive just as an intelligent being starts to die and guide their souls to the next stage of existence. He grasped onto the still tendril of the Venorum with his own, and pulled the spirit free and guided it to the nearest portal to the next realm. A simple job done once again. "Having fun?" came a voice. The Deaf was startled by the appearance of his fellow Deaf. Where the other of their kind all appeared as a perfect example of a species, there were those who collected human souls. Dressed in a torn black robe covering a human skeleton, and holding a scythe in his bony hand. "I enjoy the task for which we were created. What are you doing on this world?" the Venoran Deaf asked. "I want to show you something. Come with me." The human Deaf turned away and left the trail of smoke as he travelled to the human world. The two Deafs travelled together to Earth, and for the first time, the Venoran Deaf saw the humans themselves. There he saw living humans, much more pleasant to look at than the visage his human counterpart had. They drifted down to a battlefield where many Deafs came to do their grim work. Yet as they watched, he noticed something strange. "Why aren't they collecting the souls? They just wait." The Venoran Deaf could see some souls being collected, but only barely catching them before it was too late. "That one there was just hit by a blast wave. Go collect his soul," the human Deaf suggested. The Venoran Deaf approached and felt his form shift to the Grim Reaper of the humans. It was uncomfortable, but he reached with his newly skeletal hand to grab the soul from the body. A living soul approached the dying human, but the Deaf ignored him, until he got punched in the face. "Breathe, damn you!" the living soul shouted. The Deaf tried to pull the soul from the dying body. He could see the living mortal pressing down on the chest of the soon-to-be dead. With each compression came another punch in the face from the soul of the living mortal, while the soul he was trying to claim held firmly on his body with one hand, and fought against his efforts with the other. Then suddenly his grip was broken, and the body started to breathe again. He was no longer able to touch the soul. "What was that?" the Deaf asked. "That would be a medic," the other Deaf sniggered. He looked around and could see why the other Deafs waited. They wanted to make sure the mortal would stay dead before they claimed the soul. "How did the soul of the living mortal touch me like that?" "Humans. They set their own rules sometimes, but they do make it easy to speed along the other races. Appear to almost any race looking like this, and most will die of terror within moments, though there are precious few who deserve that fate." "Are they always this difficult?" "Not exactly. I can take you to see one that will be easy to collect." Suspicious of the pause, the Deaf followed until they were in a hospital. An old human woman, frail and dying, surrounded by the next 3 generations of her family. Only the humans would have bothered making the medicine that would allow such a thing to come to pass. "Will I get punched again if I try to claim this one?" "No. This one is ready. Listen." "It's all right, my little ones. I'm going to see my Matthew now," the old human woman whispered. "And my Mr. Whiskers." The Deaf took a wary hold of the old woman, and while it took more effort than any other soul, he pulled it free and started to guide it to the portal. "Step on through. You need to see this," the human Deaf told him. They followed, and the two Deafs saw the old human, now a young beautiful woman, greet a handsome young man, the bond of love strong between them. There's something else between them, another soul. Climbing out to the arms of the young man and onto the woman, letting out a loud meow. "Mummy, I missed you. Daddy turns into a mouse so I can hunt him. Do you want to help?" the cat meowed. "Of course, Mr. Whiskers. I've missed you too," the woman replied. The 3 souls walked off into the distance. What was that? An animal? Yup. We don't collect those. They don't have souls. If they are loved by a human, they do. Have you tried to get a human soul to stay in the afterlife if they don't find their pets? They can't leave after they go through. You wouldn't think so. It turns out nothing was ever stopping anyone from leaving. They were the first to try. If you thought that medic was a problem, imagine a soul with nothing but spite and eternity to make your job miserable. So you collect their cats? Cats, dogs, birds, bears, turtles, wombats, and all sorts of creatures. If humans aren't threatened by something, they will bond with it and love it fiercely. "Why are you telling me all this?" he asked, following his counterpart to some other kind of facility. "This soul here." The Deaf pointed to a man at the computer. "He's not dying. What about him?" "He's figuring out faster-than-light travel. Once he does, the humans will be the first to travel between the stars. You need to be ready. We all need to be ready. It won't be long before some human soul is punching you in the face as Self-Venorian. I see, but you could have warned me about that first. Yes, but it was fucking hilarious. Now, come on. We got to go reincarnate some Hindu guy into a tiger. Reincarnate what?